But why do we talk about 2032? Well, this is because we found some sort of 8-year cadence with our company. And indeed, it's 16 years of Open Social. We founded as GoGorilla in 2008. Some of the clients here were from that time, Greenpeace. And in 2016, we decided to change our company going from a service model to a SaaS model. And that's working really well. We're still here today. We have amazing clients from 4 continents flying in today. So it's really special. But we're also thinking about the next 8 years. And it's a good time to reflect. And today we'll also be sharing our plans with you for the next 8 years. But we're very proud of our successes. This was our crowdfunding campaign, how we started Open Social. At the time we called it Drupal Social, powered by GoGorilla. From an idea that was, a little bit more than a napkin written down, I would say, to working with, we always like to say, the most ambitious organizations in the world. And some of the projects you probably don't even know and we'll share more about today that we're working on. So we're very proud to be able to do this work. We could not have done it with all of your support. But in the end, what we want to do is indeed to, what Jamila said, break down these barriers and to give people a voice. And that makes us the most proud if we hear about a project somewhere in the world that succeeded because people got access to a platform, they got connection to the world. And in the end, they made a real world impact. That makes us going. And these small stories is why we do it. So what do the next 8 years look like? Well, to go forward, we have to look back a little bit and also have a reality check. When we started Open Social, here on the left, we were thinking that it would be a very simple, out-of-the-box solution that everybody would use, just one product that would fit everybody. No matter what you're doing, your size of your organization, if you're with 10 people or 1,000, if it's an intranet or an extranet, it would just work. Even better, it would be self-service. We would just install it from your browser with a little credit card and everybody would be up and running. And life was good. But then we launched. And the first thing that our clients asked, like, hey, this is great, but we just need it a little bit different. Our organization is a little bit different than all the other organizations. We have this special workflow and we're just a special type of organization. Can you customize it a little bit? And yes, that was the UN. That was our first client. So we went straight into the deep. But we also learned that actually setting up a platform and setting up the community and teaching and educating people, our clients, but also their users, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort. So the idea of just doing it with a credit card and be like, here's your platform, that went out of the window quite fast. But also that building a community is hard and it can take years. It's not something that in a few months you'll have a thriving community. And I think we launched the Spark Blue platform in 2017. So it's 7 years in the making, yeah. And the Greenwire platform, we started with Greenpeace Netherlands 13 years ago. Still running. So building sustainable online communities, it is a challenge. But we're here to help, don't worry. So we studied the very fabric of these private social communities. We found some things that tick and that don't tick. And what we are seeing is 3 persistent challenges, and we have to address them. We cannot run away from them. So there is a barrier for people to go on yet another platform. We all know this from our personal experience. Look at your phone, look at the apps that are on there. How many do you use? And there's some of them that you would like to use, but you just don't because you have a limited amount of time. And we're all busy. But also the organizations itself, do they really invest enough in community management and in content creation? And it's a persistent struggle. But why is this? We always say, hire more people, but build the teams, but it doesn't happen. So we have to acknowledge that this probably is not going to happen in the future either. And what that means in the end is that not all platforms reach the network effects or the tipping point to become a self-sustaining, sustainable community. And that's a shame because a lot of effort sometimes goes into building a community. And after the second year, the plug is pulled and the project stops. And it's not nice for anyone, not for us, not for the client, not for the users of this community. We see it happen, so we have to address this. And it's not just we seeing this happen. This is an industry-wide issue. There's a survey that's being done under about 700 to 800 community managers every year from the CMX trend reports. And the weird thing is that every year, the top 3 frustrations are the same. Every year. So they even start saying this in their report, as we see each year. And that's weird, right? Like, how do you have the same problems year after year after year after year? And us as an industry not addressing them and thinking, look, if we're just doing the ostrich thing, we're sticking our heads in the sand, the issue will go away. We don't think they'll go away, and we'll have to address them. And that does mean that now, 8 years into that original ID and that original crowdfunding, we need to rethink the platform model. So what we're seeing is that the need for the users, but also for the organizations, is that we need to engage with the people where they are in the community. We cannot just say, we have a community platform, that's where we engage with you. If people are not in the community platform, we cannot force them to go in, and we cannot force them to use it. So we need to start thinking out of the box, out of the community platform, and go to where the users are. And it still means building an online community, but it also means interacting with them on other places. We have to make it much easier to share content and also to engage with this content. And the community manager tasks, they need to be largely automated. We cannot say, okay, you just need to send a personal welcome email to everybody that joins your platform. That's not possible. So we need to understand this is not just happening in the community, it happens over the entire touch point, wherever your community may find themselves. And last but not least, we have to make sure that we give the insights. Where is the community? How is the interaction? What kind of value are we getting from these people? And make sure we make the right investments. So what we want to present is that we go towards a seamless community experience across digital channels. So where the last years we focused on building one community platform, right now what we need is what we call a community experience platform, or CXP. And we're claiming this software category, we're claiming the CXP, we'll use it a lot. It's modeled after very successful other software categories, such as the DXP. Dominique is here, that's very successful in the DXP community. He will share more of that insights today. But the community experience platform is something new. It hasn't been done before. It's multiple products working together to build a platform experience. So, okay, what does that mean? Well, for our community experience platform, it means we'll work with 6 different products. And I'll go through them one by one so you have a better understanding. Jamila said, you have a lot of slides. Yes, that's why we're recording it, so you can rewatch it later. But we also have a lot to tell. And we think it's very interesting for you. So there's a community management system, the cloud platform, the hosting, an AI, engagement automation, a customer data platform, and identity access management. They're all different products, and they all work together. So the community management system is already what everybody here has. It's what we now call open social. But what we now call open social is 2 parts. It's a software part and a hardware part. And we see the needs differ. Some people have a lot of software needs, but their hardware needs are small. And some people have very extensive hardware needs, but a very small, limited software needs. So we need to split them. And for some of you here, like the European Commission, we're already splitting them because they have their own hosting requirements, things like that. So it makes very much sense to split the community management system from the cloud platform. That's step 1. We also simplified it. So in the past, we worked with this sometimes called Chinese menu of 100 extensions, and they became too much. So we're trying to simplify it, and we say, look, we're not going to have 100 extensions anymore. We're going to give people a lot of extensions with some simple add-ons. So just to simplify this entire model. So the software part is split from the cloud platform. That is for most of you platform SH at the moment. There are some organizations that are on-premise hosted or that have AWS. It doesn't change that much. So don't worry, we're not going to do something revolutionary with your platform. It keeps on running. But we're adding additional systems, and that we will address right now. So the first thing that we want to introduce is Gaia. And we've all seen the totally buzz around AI. We are not getting into a totally buzz system, we think we have a really great use case for AI, and we'll be rolling it out quite soon. I'm taking Spark Blue as an example because it's a great platform, don't worry. But Spark Blue is big. It has 33,000 experts on the platform that are sharing content, information, events in groups. There's e-consultations that have 400, 500, 600 comments on them, and they have replies on them. It's a massive amount of information. And a lot of it is in the public resource library. So the old way is, okay, there's 4,000 resources, each with attachments. Each attachments can be dozens of pages. UN is quite knowledge heavy in different languages, different types of resources. It can be academic, it can be non-academic. There's a lot. So the old way in saying, hey, I want to find some information about tuberculosis is to search on it, maybe drill it down by region, but there's still 67 resources. And do I go through all of them and read all of them? That's hard, right? If I have a specific question, I just want to make sure that question is being answered. So what you're seeing here on the left is our Gaia AI in a private cloud setting. Bram will talk more about the technical implementation later. So it's good. We have a very good division between technical, architectural, and none. So what you're seeing here is Gaia working already in our private cloud setup. The next step is that we make this AI available for each individual platform. So it's not a general AI, it's an AI that only works for your platform, and it can index the information that is on your platform. And people can then talk with it and get right answers from their questions. So it's a sovereign AI system. It's not indexing information out of your organization. There's not even a need to use an external indexation such as OpenAI. We can use it. It's a cheaper version, but we also have a fully sovereign AI that will only use the information on your platform, not making it available outside of the platform. So what I did here is, hey, how many people are affected by tuberculosis in Ghana? And I get the right answer directly. What is the outlook for this patient? Can you explain this to me as if I'm 5-year-old? Yes. Can you do this in Spanish? Yes. So it's a complete different experience with knowledge. Instead of searching, digging, filtering, we're just asking and getting an answer. There's going to be debate about this. We're, for example, stumbled on the limitations of the model because, for example, we asked it, hey, what is the most important thing right now in healthcare in Africa? And because we trained it on tuberculosis articles, it's like, it's tuberculosis, nothing about HIV or something. So there's also things that we're now exploring, like what is the part of the knowledge of the platform and how much of the outer world knowledge should this AI know? If we ask it a question about who won the Second World War, it knows. But it's very focused on the platform information. So we'll have to find a balance between general information, platform information. What about the information that are in secret groups or in closed groups? Can it access this? Should it check your access rights to this content before giving you the specific answer? But these are exciting things. And very soon you'll be able to test this out on your platform, see how it works, what kind of answers you get. And for us, it completely blew our minds and revolutionizes the way that we interact and build knowledge. Also think about if you want to introduce yourself to the platform, instead of typing out, I'm this and this, the platform can just ask you, hey, upload one of your articles that you wrote or something that inspired you. You upload it and the system knows all about you and what kind of expert and knowledge you have. So it can then match you to other experts. So for our AI model, the first use case is what we just showed. It's the ask and receive technology that we're developing. The second one is that it will help us with indexing and categorizing and working on taxonomies, because we have all very complex taxonomies in our platforms. Sometimes it's SDGs, sometimes it's very organizational specific. So what the AI can do is understanding this knowledge and come up with a suggestion of the tags, because people still like to have, categorized information. So it will help us to tag, categorize, and give better insights around these topics. And the third use case is that we'll work with recommendations. So when you're on the top of a page or an event, it can recommend content to you. Or when you log into the platform, it says, hey, we think these articles are interesting for you. So that's Gaia AI. We'll talk about timeline a bit later when we'll roll this out. The fourth one, I should say, is the engagement automation system. So the engagement automation system is based on what we're seeing happening in marketing automation. And again, Dominique will talk a bit more about this. But what it is, it can create specific workflows that are triggered by certain events. So it can be a sign up to the platform, it can be a sign up to an event, it can be pretty much anything you want. And this triggers a certain workflow where you can say, send a message to the user. If the user opens this email, do this. If they don't open, send another message 2 days later. Or send a message 1 day before the event to give the correct address to everybody that's attending the event. Or send an email after the event so people are reminded to give their feedback or photos or something like this. So where we now are very much sending out one email notification, do this, do that. We don't check if there's an opening. We don't check if they clicked on the links. We can work much more with the user, create all these workflows in advance, and let this system run automatically. So the engagement with your users will be more personalized. It will be more automated. And for each platform, again, we can customize this. So out of the box, we'll come with specific messagings that we think all platforms benefit on, but we can tailor it to your specific system, because every tool that we're presenting is an open source tool. It runs on the same hosting environment. Nothing ever leaves your system. Just as an example, there's a new account creation. We're going to wait 3 days. Has somebody completed their profile? If yes, great. We'll give them full access to the community. We'll put them in the segment of onboarded users, so we can target them with later email campaigns. And we're adding 25 points to their experience level. Later, we can say, hey, we want to target the people that are very active, with a lot of points. Or we want to send out an email to the onboarded users or the not onboarded users. So it opens up a ton of possibilities for segmentations, for point-based interactions. But if the profile is not completed, maybe even more important, we send them an email stressing the importance of a full profile. We wait 4 days, check again, is the profile complete? Yes, okay, great, they're onboarded, we'll add the points. If not, okay, maybe we'll send them a final email request. Maybe we keep sending emails until they're fully onboarded. Those are your decisions in the end. We'll come up with a template saying this works for us, but sure, you want to keep sending them emails, go ahead. Or maybe you want to do it once only. So you can create your own workflows. You can decide on the way to message them. It's an email, maybe it's a push notification, maybe it's an SMS. We'll be adding a lot more functionality to it. Can be on-site pop-ups as well. And also we'll be working on digest emails. So the digest emails can be weekly or monthly newsletters. Hey, this has been happening on the platform. Even cooler, we can integrate the engagement automation with Gaia AI. So the newsletter can also say, hey, this is what happens in the community, this is what happened in your groups. Oh, by the way, these emails or these pieces of content could be interesting for you specifically based on your interests. So you see the CXP are all different systems that are working together to optimize the entire experience. The last thing is that right now, when we're looking at customers, we look at all the information that is in the system, so that what is in the community management system. But you have different systems running. There is the website, there is a CRM system. So what the customer data platform can do is build some sort of golden profile of this user with all the information. Where are they active? How do we interact with them? Have they visited an event or not? It can even work with your CRM. And based on that, we can create engagement paths for them, maybe to reactivate. And this is something that we've been talking to for a while, our community experience pyramid, where we really want to focus on how can we drive engagement upwards. People that are on your website might not be ready for account creation, but they might sign up for your newsletter. And that newsletter might be a campaign to eventually sign them up for the platform. Or they might drop out and we want to reactivate them. Or we see, these people are participating, maybe they want to be an organizer. So the community experience model can be put into action and automated, because we don't want to do all the manual work because we're so busy, to find tailored ways to interact with your community. Last but not least, when we were talking about this, me, Bram, and the product team, we said, that's actually a lot of systems. And we know that security and access is very important. So what we'll do is we'll build an identity access management system so we control the access to all these different systems for admins, for community managers from one single point. We're also looking at ways, if we have multiple community platforms, to make sure that you can access the different communities with one single account. Key is that our community experience platform will be open and composable. This is a bit of an enterprise term. Some of you might understand this. Otherwise, it means that we're using open source software, we're using open source protocols, we're dedicated to this. Competitors might build another CXP that will try to suck you into their ecosystem. We're always working on an open system. And it's composable. That means all of the products could be exchanged for your own system. If you already have a customer data platform, fine, we'll work with that. If you have your own marketing solution, maybe Salesforce, fine, we'll work with that. So all of these products are interchangeable, they're optional, and they're open. So that's really our differentiator. And we think it will bring a lot of value. So bit updated mission, we really want to revolutionize the community experience. We see the issues happening around engagement, around getting the tipping point, cold starts, etc. And we're very much invested into changing that. That also means we just relaunched getopenSocial.com, our website, to explain in further detail the different aspects of the community experience platform, the different products, the different add-ons. So if you're very intrigued by one of the things, you can read more about it. And it also means that from now on, we'll make a difference between OpenSocial as the company and the community management system as the product, and the cloud platform as the product. So you cannot buy OpenSocial any longer unless you want to buy the entire company. But it's not for sale. So we're trying to change this ourselves as well. We still have some colleagues that say, yeah, we just sold OpenSocial. Like, I don't think so. I would have known. As always, we develop this in collaboration with our clients because you're the ones that are actually using it, getting the feedback. So the community management system and the cloud platform, yeah, it's here. Gaia AI will be launched next quarter. So we're working with our partners that are specifically set up from a data and science perspective to work on this. We have the demo up and running. If you're very keen on seeing the demo later, then tap me on the shoulder. I'll show you a little bit. Engagement automation will be end of this year, and the customer data platform and the identity access management next year. Of course, if you're very interested in one of these things and you want to move it forward, let's talk. One last thing, big passion of ours is mycelium, the interconnecting communities, where we are sharing knowledge between communities. And it's very nice. We're sitting down with some clients tomorrow to see if we can do a pilot with this. But important for mycelium is that we have a good working API up and running, that we can also understand what type of content needs to be shared through the network. So all of these products that we were showing, and Bram will talk a bit more about the architecture in a bit, is also the basis for building mycelium. So we're really focused on the community experience platform, the new products, but at the same time, we'll be starting a pilot to understand how can we collaborate between communities. And this is a very exciting project. It's a very big project, so we're taking small steps there. It's not something you'll probably see announced publicly until we're a bit more advanced, but this is the basis for it, and we are investing it and taking steps towards it. So just a short update on mycelium. If this resonates in a good or bad way, I'm here the whole day. I'd love to get your feedback, ideas. I talked to some people on a conference in Paris this week, and they started feeding me more ideas about like the personal onboarding with documents that you can upload instead of typing out your profile. I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. We should do it. So it's under development. Would love to see how we can collaborate on this. And if you have any questions, we'll do a Q&A after Bram's talk. All right. Thank you so much.